Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Stony Brook Evening Newsbreak. I'm Angelique Powell.
And I'm Vyong Hao, bringing you the latest in news. We have a lot to get into, so let's get going.
The clock is ticking towards what President Donald Trump calls America's Liberation Day. Trump is set to unveil massive import taxes on all countries today at the White House, but has also promised to be kind. It is not clear which countries will be impacted or where the new levies go into effect. Even though the White House is calling this rollout a Make America Wealthy Again, the uncertainty has already rattled the stock markets for weeks, and there is growing unease on what this tariff war will mean to the global economy. Here in the studio, we have Dr. Pankaj Kanessa, professor of and co-chair of the Department of Economics here at Stony Brook University. Welcome, Professor Kanessa, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So can you explain the tariffs Trump has already imposed in the industries impacted?
Well, first of all, what I would like to point out is that it's going to be in 20 minutes. There's going to be a press conference in the Rose Garden of the White House where Trump is going to lay out the basics of his plan.
Well, what everyday goods are going to be impacted by these new tariffs coming in?
Oh, basically all of them. Unfortunately, when you put tariffs or taxes, because a tariff is a tax, when you put a tax on foreign products entering into the US, you are not only taxing the final product that comes into the US, let's say avocados from Mexico, but you are also putting taxes on many of the parts that are used in the construction or in the manufacturing of cars and other goods in the US. Therefore, it's going to end up affecting all of the goods in the US economy and many of the services as well.
So with the new tariffs, would there be any economic impacts that we would be expecting?
Yes, sure. I mean, the first thing you have to expect is that the prices of imported goods are going to go up, and that typically has more of an impact on the poorer side of US households. And also, it's going to be eventually triggering to other goods in the economy. So overall, the overall price of most things in the US is going to be higher. Mm-hmm. Yes.
With Trump's tariffs, will this make US exports more competitive or less competitive in the global market?
Well, the theory is that if you buy less from abroad, you are gonna consume more domestically. That's the theory. But at the same time, what's gonna happen is that if you buy less from the rest of the world, you're also gonna sell less to the rest of the world, because since the price of all products is gonna increase, your exports also are gonna be more expensive, and you're gonna sell less to the rest of the world.
Mm. And is there anything else you would like people to know about these new tariffs?
Yeah, I mean, there is, listen, I have a huge trade deficit with Stop and Shop, okay? I go every week, I spend money there, I buy goods from Stop and Shop. In exchange, I give them my money, and Stop and Shop doesn't buy anything from me. And therefore, I have a huge trade deficit with Stop and Shop. But it doesn't matter. I go and sell my services to other institutions, not to Stop and Shop. Who do I sell my services to? Stony Brook University, and they give me money. So I have a huge trade surplus with Stony Brook University. I have a huge trade deficit with Stop and Shop. Looking at bilateral, the same applies among countries. Looking at a bilateral trade deficit between the US and country X or country Y is a meaningless statement. It makes no sense. The notion that because we have a trade deficit with country X, they are taking advantage of us, well, it's the same notion that Stop and Shop is taking advantage of me. I mean, it's meaningless.
So thank you so much for coming in today to talk about this.
Voters in Florida and Wisconsin cast ballots yesterday in high-stakes elections, the first major contest since President Donald Trump's return to office. In Florida, Republican Randy Fine won the special election in the 6th District, defeating Democrat Josh Wheel. The GOP now holds 219 seats in the House. In the first district, Republican Jimmy Patronis defeated Democrat Gay Vallimont, replacing Matt Gaetz, who resigned after Trump nominated him for Attorney General despite reports of sexual misconduct and drug use. In Wisconsin, liberal judge Susan Crawford defeated conservative Brad Schimmel in the most expensive judicial race in U.S. history, with more than $90 million spent. Backed by Trump and Elon Musk, Schimmel's loss was seen as a major setback for conservatives, hoping to shift the court's direction. Here's what Crawford had to say in her victory speech after the Wisconsin Supreme Court election.
As a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world. I've spent my whole career fighting for Wisconsin as a prosecutor, a lawyer, a judge, and now a soon-to-be justice on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
All this political talk is just reminding me of the New York City mayoral candidate that's appearing on my For You page. I don't know what your For You page looks like, but that's what mine is looking like right now.
See, my For You page is full of OOTDs and get ready with me's.
Oh my God, I think there was a TikTok ban back earlier this year, right?
Yes, January 19th to be exact too.
So, do you know what's happening, what's going to happen right now? Is the ban coming back or what?
Actually, yes. So in only 3 days before the April 5th deadline, Amazon has put a bid to buy the popular app TikTok. A deal with TikTok's parent company ByteDance must be reached before the weekend, and TikTok must be sold to a US-based company. Failure to do could result in another ban. After granting an extra 75 days to find a new owner back in January, President Trump has said he will likely extend the deadline again if a sale is not finalized by Saturday. TikTok is currently available in the US app stores, but depending on the ownership status, the app could go dark once again.
Senator Cory Booker finished the longest Senate filibuster in United States history. Booker began the speech beginning Monday evening and finished yesterday night, speaking up against President Trump's recent actions. Clocking in at 25 hours and 5 minutes, the 55-year-old Democratic senator from New Jersey broke the previous record held by Senator Strom Thurmond, who held the record previously when he filibustered against the Civil Rights Act in 1957. When passing Thurmond's mark, Booker noted that he is a descendant of slaves and emphasized that he is here despite Thurmond's resistance to the Civil Rights Act. The speech ended with a quote from John Lewis telling Americans to go out and cause some, quote, good trouble necessary trouble and to redeem the soul of our nation.
When our founder said we must mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor, we need that now from all Americans. This is a moral moment. It's not left or right, it's right or wrong. Let's get in good trouble. My friend, Madam President, I yield the floor.
And now let's head to our very own reporter, Christopher Schultz, to see the latest in sports.
Thanks, Vyong. The world of sports has been action-packed as of late in both the collegiate and professional levels. On Saturday afternoon, the Stony Brook men's lacrosse team outlasted the last remaining unbeaten team, the 12th-ranked Fairfield Stags, earning their 15th-ranked win in program history. It was a back-and-forth affair that was tied at 15 apiece with just over 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when attacker Ray O'Brien and midfielder Caleb Young scored 2 goals in just over a minute to give the Seawolves a 17-15 lead, culminating in a 17-16 win. The 20th-ranked Stony Brook women's lacrosse team had a 20-3 rout over the William Mary Tribe on Sunday. This was their second consecutive 20-goal game following a 20-5 drubbing of the Vermont Catamounts on Wednesday. Charlotte Wilmouth was one of 4 players with a hat trick, leading the way by scoring 5 goals, which is tied for her second most in a game this season. Our New York Knicks last night beat their rival, the injury-riddled Philadelphia 76ers, by a score of 105-91. This improves their record to 48-27 on the season. The win helped the Knicks shrink their magic number down to 3 for clinching the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, as that is where they currently stand. The Knicks were led by small forward OG Anunoby, who led the team with a game-high 27 points, while guard Landry Shamet scored 20 points and hit 6 three-pointers, leading all players. Center Mitchell Robinson recorded a double-double with 14 points and 14 rebounds and 2 block shots. On March 27th, they clinched a spot in the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year and are looking to win their first NBA championship since 1973. Tonight, the Knicks play the most important game of their season as they visit the best team in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have a record of 60-15 on the season. The Cavaliers have a ton of top-tier talent, such as Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Darius Garland. Make sure to tune in tonight at 7 p.m. to watch this exciting matchup. And now let's head it back to the desk with Angelique and Viong.
French judges are charging France's far-right party leader and presidential election frontrunner Marine Le Pen and dozens of her National Rally Party members for embezzlement, diverting European Parliament funds to their party. Le Pen is also banned from running for a political office for at least 5 years. Along with the ban, she is also handed a $100,000 fine and a 4-year prison sentence with 2 years suspended and the other 2 years which she may serve under house arrest. Le Pen denies any wrongdoing and has called the case a political witch hunt. She is appealing the verdict of the case, with Court of Appeal saying that they will issue a ruling on these appeals in the summer of 2026. Supporters of Le Pen and the France Far-Right Party continue to voice their outrage for the verdict, with many threatening the judges who made the conviction. Jordan Bardella, the president of the party, is calling on supporters to rally in the center of Paris on Sunday to protest the ruling. Various other protests are expected to take place throughout France over the coming days in opposition to the ruling.
If your weekend is looking uneventful, perhaps a musical could fill that empty space. Here's an exclusive look into the Center Reach High School's Theater Arts' upcoming performance of the 1996 Broadway musical, Rent.
December 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From here on in, I shoot without a script.
New York City, center of the universe.
She said she'd be more of a man than he'd ever be, and more of a woman than he'd ever get. But no one is leaving, they're just sitting there ruining.
We'll open up a restaurant in Santa Fe. Together when the crazy shifting winds of change keep ripping away. How we gonna pay last year's rent? Friday, my day.
And that's all from Stony Brook Newsbreak. I'm Angelique Powell.
And I'm Viong Hao. Have a great day, SeaWorld.